Ugh.
Well, look at the bright side. At least they didn't call you rainbow trash.
That's actually a rather valid point. Wow, after 5 seasons, Dash finally has achieved her dreams. Not in a sort of in the Wonderbolts, but a full-fledged member. Does this episode live up to the hype? Sort of. What I mean is this episode is good overall, as Rainbow Dash finally achieves her dreams and opens up a plethora of new story possibilities. I mean, we can now expect Wonderbolt's episodes with Dash, which has the potential to be, well, quite amazing. Speaking of the Bolts, they also get a nice bit of characterization, showing both their good and bad characteristics in a way that adds depth to their character. Before they were some sort of mythic entity, mostly thanks to Rainbow Dash herself, but now they are teammates, or equals. Again, this has a lot of really good story potential, that we get to see a sample of at one of the best episode endings this season, or actually in several seasons. It's not just that it's a feel-good ending, but one that shows the Wonderbolts as real ponies, that, yes, we're well aware of Dash's awesomeness. It's just a nicely executed twist that rounds out so many characters. Also worth noting is further Scoots and Dash bonding. However, this episode does have some flaws, one of the most apparent being the pacing. While pacing issues tend to be very hard to define, they are actually rather easy to spot here. The second act simply drags on for far too long. Yes, that impersonation scene was quite funny, but it didn't really add to the story. When large parts of the second act can be edited out without anyone noticing, there is a problem. Not saying the impersonation scenes needed to be fully cut, but I feel they would have worked best as a short montage. Getting the point across, but not taking up too much time that could be better spent in the third act. The other issue is the overcrowding of the main 6 in the episode. This feels even worse than Rainbow Falls in that most of the main 6 really don't need to be in it. Especially when most of their dialogue is so interchangeable to the point I think it was written as one speech and broken into 3 to 4 parts for 3 to 4 different characters. Sort of like a game of hot potato with dialogue. The only one that really felt unique with their dialogue was Pinky, but hers was just for comic relief, so obviously it stood out. I feel this episode would have been much stronger if only Fluttershy or Scoots had significant dialogue from the supporting cast. Fluttershy being Rainbow's best friend since she first got the nickname, and Scoots being her adopted sister. The rest really don't have a role besides maybe showing up in the background for moral support. Overall, this was a good kickoff episode for a new writer. Sure, some supporting characters' roles were unnecessary, but I prefer underwritten characters to characters written out of character. Well, until next time, keep calm and an open mind. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments below.